Aha!
Good.
And we're live?
Y'all live.
Woo!
Good evening, Acadiana.
Welcome
to
Higher Thoughts! A new season, I believe, right, Shahid?
Yes, sir. New season.
Like the 8th season of Higher Thoughts, something like that? Who knows?
It never seems to end in some permutation or other.
Well, because the news, or the real fake news, never really ends, so we're here to analyze.
And fake the real news.
With the emphasis being on anal.
Right, in the eye? Anal eyes?
Well, speaking of which, we have a list of very interesting facts. And
Jeez.
speaking of that, did you know? These are facts that everybody's dying to know, in fact. But they're too afraid to ask. But did you know everyone has a unique fingerprint? Everyone has a unique retinal pattern.
Yeah.
And an anus. Everyone has their own digital, you can scan your booty and. So it's coming, the anal scan.
Okay.
The retinal scan and the fingerprint scan.
Right. Well, what if you get hemorrhoids?
Well,
That would change your anal scan.
Well, I mean, they might be able to scan it off with a laser.
Yeah.
So that leads us to our local news with all of the anal scanning. We've got the LGBT Pride Month resolution failing here in Lafayette.
Wait, what?
They don't recognize Pride Month, or they don't celebrate it in Lafayette.
WTF, OMG, MOUSE.
Well, they painted the Art Lafayette thing, like the art center downtown, in the rainbow colors. And,
right.
It still can be observed technically, but there's just, I guess, not a parade, maybe, or
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I say in Louisiana, any good reason to have a parade,
Right. Get people together, have a couple of cold adult beverages.
Well, of course.
Cookout.
But it failed 4-3. It needed 5 votes in order to pass.
So it needed a supra majority.
Supra. I guess we're going to run through some Louisiana news.
Let's
right quick.
do it.
Because you know how we do it here in La La Land.
Right, that's the way we do it.
How about St. Martin Parish? Suspect comments on Crime Stoppers about a post about her. Basically, Crime Stoppers was this lady was wanted, and she's like, that's not a very good picture of me. And they're like, well, why don't you just come on into the station and we could take you a new picture? So, you know how we do it in Louisiana.
For that one?
She actually, I think, did.
She fell for
Well,
that
she
one?
actually turned herself in, though. So.
Okay.
She's now arrested, is what I got out of the story.
Good.
How about this?
Well, not good that she's arrested, but good that process is going to work for the lady.
What's up, Jacob?
What's that?
How we doing, man?
Just checking to make sure that stream was going.
Ooh, we love it. We love
You always
it when
stream
we're
it so
streaming.
nice,
Yeah,
Jacob.
stream for you.
Oh, let's see. So golden. This is the moment I've been waiting for in America for a while, and I actually think we've been societally engineered this direction with our 2 failing political parties.
Right.
But more than 40% of all Americans now identify politically as independents.
Good.
Well, they can't vote in the primaries, but hey, I wish that would actually translate into the polls in, at least the presidential polls. Because the independents just haven't really done much.
They polled their base. Republican.
This is actually from the news organization here in Lafayette, KATC, something like that, that I got this story from. So in 2000, get this, 2000, independents were 18% of registered voters. In the 2018 midterm election, let's see, it was the 40%. So how about in Louisiana? 26% of Louisiana voters registered as independent statewide in 2018, an increase of 8.4%. Lafayette Parish, 20.9% in 2000, rose to 28% in 2018.
Wow.
So So between 2000 and 2018, Louisiana saw a substantial decline in the Democratic Party registration, a 16.6% drop statewide, and a 16.8% drop in Lafayette Parish.
Was there a drop for the Republican Party?
They pretty much stayed steady. So most of the Democrats are going independent, or the ones that are swaying away. So that covers our Louisiana. Well, actually, no, we got a couple more. Oh, how about industrial hemp and CBD are now legal in Louisiana? So I guess that guy can do his store now.
Do his store, right?
Do your store.
Right.
And we lost a couple good musicians last week.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. Little Buck Senegal is one of them, local legend, and Dr. John as well.
And we lost Bushwick Bill.
I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah.
How about that? So, yeah, unfortunate.
Were you a Ghetto Boys fan?
It's vague. I didn't actually recognize the name, but I do.
I was a Ghetto Boys fan, so.
I've heard of them, but I didn't know the actual
Bushwick
musician.
Bill.
Yeah.
He was vertically challenged.
Well, did they ever cover "If You're Going to San Francisco, You'll never get to smoke the vapes"? Because San Francisco is the first city in the United States to impose a e-cigarette ban.
For
They've apparently got poo all over their city. A lot of homeless people, a bunch of poo and homeless people in the city.
And
but you can't vape.
Yeah, that's just ignorant. Ignorant.
The United States seized 33,000 pounds of cocaine
Oh, off the ship? Yeah, 16
off the ports
something.
in Philadelphia, worth more than $1 billion on the street.
Yeah.
Tony Montana, you want to go to war with me, man? Ah!
That's a lot of dope.
Yeah, it is. Drugs are bad, folks. Alabama.
Okay.
That's usually a good start, right?
Right. Alabama.
So apparently, the police had to detain a squirrel that was fed methamphetamines and trained to attack visitors. Sit on that one for a second.
I'm just processing. The squirrel's hopped up on meth, and
Will attack you.
and is trained to attack.
Trained to attack visitors.
How would someone train a squirrel to attack?
By giving it meth?
And it loves you because you give it the meth?
Well, it'll probably attack you too, but you just just throw it on somebody and run.
Oh, rabbit squirrel to the face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. I figured you'd appreciate this one. In Virginia, a guy who's been trying to get a permit to do something in his backyard, but kept on getting denied, finally moved, and he spent $4,000 on a giant statue in his town to give them the giant middle finger.
Good for
So
him.
it's like a huge middle finger that he just gave to his town.
Because he was upset.
He was upset he couldn't get a permit to do something in his backyard, but he got the permit to be able to build
a statue with a big middle finger.
Right. As he moved to a different town.
Do you happen to know the name of that town?
It was in Virginia.
Virginia. I'll have to Google that up later because
Yes,
I think
indeed.
I want to go visit that.
Man, in Alaska. I mean, right now it's long days in Alaska, right? Pretty much all day days.
Summertime. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's pretty much long days right now. But
yeah.
a woman was saved from a rapist by a gay rapist who raped the rapist.
Oh God.
So you want to rape somebody? Well, you're about to get raped.
Okay. Real news?
That's actually real news.
Oh man.
So basically, this guy that was raping this woman got raped by another guy that saved her.
Guy saved her by raping the rapist.
Yeah.
Well, Okay.
Do you wear Old Spice deodorant?
No.
What, are you a Sure guy or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure. Okay.
Sometimes secret if it's on sale.
Secret.
If it's on sale.
Isn't that girls deodorant?
It's deodorant.
It's a secret.
Made by the same company.
Did you know that Old Spice is being sued for $5 million after customers claimed their deodorant gave them chemical burns and rashes? And I saw there's a lot of different cases.
Yeah. Well, especially since some people use their deodorant.
Ooh, on their nudes?
At that.
I mean, like, what are you reaching for down there?
That junction between the thigh and the groinal region. You might use Boudreaux's butt paste if it's a baby.
Right.
But on
you're not talking about the taint.
No, I'm just talking about the crease right there between the fupa and the leg.
I know what you're talking about. I just wanted to say taint. Let's see. How about Cheerios? These are some good old products. Some good old products here. Nature's Valley cereal contains Roundup ingredient. The study finds.
Yeah.
Great.
Glyphosate.
What's your favorite type of cereal, Mo?
Quaker Oats.
Quaker Oats, like the oatmeal?
Oatmeal.
That's not cereal.
Okay.
Like, what's your favorite cereal that you like put milk on and you eat it? Like dry cereal.
Dry cereal.
Like Frosted Flakes or something. Chex, okay.
Honey Nut Chex. That's what the kids like. So
Honey Nut Chex. I like a Honey Nut Cheerio, so I imagine Honey Nut Chex is probably pretty tasty. Let's see. A couple political stories here. In the United States, Bernie Sanders plagiarizes Stalin with his Economic Bill of Rights in a speech.
Plagiarizes Stalin.
Basically, like, lifted some, like, of the exact same statements.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Considering Stalin's generally considered to be a pretty evil guy.
Well, and I think he was he into socialism? I don't even know. I'm not going to claim. How about, I got a good story and two bad stories about Trump. Actually, two good stories and one bad story. So, the first good story, and of course this could definitely be attributed to President Obama as well. There are more jobs now than there are people out of work. Something the American economy has never experienced before, apparently.
It's not that there are more jobs than there are people to work. It's the unemployment rate. We are below what economists say as a country, as an economy. You've got frictional unemployment.
Well, it's because we're not qualified for the jobs that are available, which are mainly in the healthcare, engineering, business fields.
Right. Then why are they outsourcing phone calls to India when people in Alabama could do the same job?
Well, because they have to pay too much. Like the AT&T call centers are run in the prisons, and where the prisoners make like less than $2 a day, an hour.
Okay. Well, if you're in prison, you get an opportunity.
And that was due to complaints of people like having the call centers in India or something like that. They wanted Americans. Well, have some Americans in prison.
Okay.
Which that's a big business nowadays. Those private prisons.
Private prison.
So that one's just a story about the economy, technically. How about Trump signs the right to try, which allows gravely ill patients to bypass FDA for experimental medicines. Which I think that's kind of a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't have to take all your.
He signed it.
Yeah. And I mean, he's like signed several good things, So like, sure, he's a goon in the media and publicly, but he has done some good things. President Obama did some good things, but like every president does good and bad things.
Right.
And Trump is just less socially acceptable than most. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
How about, and I was saying this one around April 15th. Oh my gosh. American taxpayers paid over $90 billion more under the new Trump tax law.
Doesn't surprise me
there
in the
you go.
slightest.
Helping the rich get richer, right?
Right. I get like $30-something more a month because my tax thing is
Right, but then I
decreased.
ended up making like $1,000
then
less.
they take taxes out of that extra 30 something. Whatever.
Right.
It's just
Yeah, it's more another way for them to rip you off. So,
right.
Apparently teachers got a $1,000 pay raise next year.
Really?
Well, with I think Edwards passed that.
It'd be nice to.
Hey, extra $80 before taxes. That's going to be cut down to $50.
An extra, $50 a month. We could they could subscribe to.
Here, slave, have some scraps.
They could pay someone to clean the house.
World news.
World news. Welcome to the new wage.
Man, I need to invest in this. Holy crap! Facebook published detailed plans for their new cryptocurrency called Libra,
Yeah.
which is backed by currencies from most of the trusted central banks around the world, and even accessible without a bank account.
Yeah.
Invest in this, people.
It's supposed to help the unbanked.
So, when did Zuckerberg become king of the world? I mean, is he AI? Is he a robot that is a secret sorcerer to all nations on the planet?
What he did was, remember the Winklevoss twins? The ones he ripped
I've
off
seen
for
the
the idea?
Facebook movie.
Right. Okay. Well, the Winklevoss guys had the cryptocurrency idea platform going, trying to get wherever it was they were going with it. They and Zuckerberg got back together, but you don't hear about the Winklevoss dudes. All you hear about is Zuckerberg.
No doubt.
But you know what? The way they handled data in the past, I'm not going to trust them with my money. It's bad enough trusting eBay when you use PayPal.
Well, I just know that a bunch of people will flock to it. Everybody's kind of curious about the digital currency and the Bitcoin and everything, and with a big brand name like Facebook and all the major banks getting behind it, it might be wise to invest, folks. If you're going to invest in something like this digital currency, and medicinal marijuana is the things to invest in the stock market right now. So that covers our stock market news.
Right.
What's that part called in the paper? Is it just business?
Business.
Business. Okay, so YouTube is deleting videos on Nazi history as part of its hate speech crackdown.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy.
What?
I mean, you want those documentaries to show pictographic evidence of the atrocity.
It's just wipe away our history if it hurts somebody's feelings.
You know what? I had a girl hurt my feelings once. Can we wipe her away?
I know, right?
Doesn't work that way, people.
Well, I'm sure she probably had to wipe something away, before she left. Skeet. China's social credit score is here. Facebook's process to label you as a hate agent is revealed. And so basically it's this thing that goes basically statements that I think you could either say or type.
Right.
That flags you, and there's certain flags that you can eventually become a hate agent based on negativity that you put. Even when you react in an angry or sad face, with an emoji.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just reading an article earlier today that engagement, where people and repost and all that, is down 20%. Even though the number of subscribers is going, the level of engagement has dropped 20%.
Well, people realize it's just like doing crack, and basically they designed it that way.
Right.
And so
I gave up face crack.
Well, and I was just thinking about it earlier on. It's I've been kind of thinking about giving up, and the perfect time to do it is right before an election season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's gonna be torture.
Yeah.
So I definitely will at least have to take a break there. Let's see, Venezuelans Once the number 4 economy in the world, like only about 50 years ago.
Right.
Are marked now waiting in line for food, and they're marked with numbers to stand in line at government supermarkets.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very sad.
That kind of...
It's a different kind of socialism than the one that Bernie Sanders and the Dems are talking about, right? It's a different kind of socialism they're using. Anyways, moving on from that. Some LGBT news. We mentioned the Lafayette Pride Month resolution failing. If you want to call and give your thoughts on that, is that a good thing or bad thing? Katie Anna, tell us, what do you think? We missed you.
337-366-8950. Press number 1.
The number 1 real fake news in Acadiana.
Exactly. Nobody else is willing to do this.
We're
filling a need.
And I mean,
we're doing community service.
And
we haven't even been convicted.
This is our part, I guess, that we could do is just like, hey, this is some stuff that's going on that you might not hear about on your nightly news television. With Tom Brokaw, if he even still does stuff.
I don't know. I don't do television. Where we were sitting to get a cold adult beverage, I had to turn my back to the screen because it had...
I've been trying to separate myself from the screen as much as I can. I try to keep this away from me so it doesn't send its radiation toward me.
Oh, yeah, so that you can grow a bone spur in your jaw.
Like LeBron James. Which, speaking of LeBron James...
What about LeBron James?
Well, Space Jam 2 is finally about to go down. I think they're filming this summer.
The movie?
Yeah, Space Jam 2 with LeBron James. And actually, they had a hard time casting it because nobody wanted to be in a movie with LeBron James. Like, all the other NBA players hate him.
Okay. Why would they do a Space Jam 2?
Well, because so they can make money with the Looney Tunes and a basketball movie and with NBA stars, and it's got some WNBA people in it too.
Okay.
So it's got Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, who actually, that's, kind of another sports news story. Anthony Davis, the star center for the Pelicans, formerly got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers to go play with LeBron James.
Okay, the Pelicans is a basketball team?
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans,
Yeah.
okay. Do they have a baseball team there?
Just a AA team.
Okay. I know they got a football team there.
Yeah, well, the Saints, of course, but they used to be the Hornet. Well, they started off as the New Orleans Jazz in their basketball team.
Right, and then they got sold to Utah.
Right, and then they
And that way
were the
when the
Hornets.
The Hornets?
Charlotte moved over to New Orleans.
Okay.
And then Charlotte, I think, became the Bobcats. And so we gave the Bobcats the Hornets back, and we just became the Pelicans, since it's our state bird. Pelicans can be vicious, man.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways, we traded our best player, possibly a future Hall of Famer.
Right.
The Unibrow is what he was called. 7 foot tall, really good. He's been good for the team, but we kind of just have sucked as a team. Anyways, the Lakers basically traded their whole damn team for him. They traded 3 players. A couple of them are pretty good, and I think we've already traded one of them already for a different player or something. But and we got their 3 first-round picks, and they have the number 4 pick. We got the number 1 pick in the draft, so they have apparently the best player coming out of college basketball, or coming into the NBA since LeBron James, they say, and he's going to be going to New Orleans.
Okay.
And we're getting all kind of other players for Anthony Davis, too. So New Orleans is going to be really good in basketball.
So they trade this one really good guy for the opportunity.
To get 4 good guys.
Yeah.
4 or 5 good guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he was bitching and whining all throughout the season, wanting to get traded anyways.
Oh, well, if he doesn't want to be here, then...
Peace.
Yeah, deuces.
Deuces. Let's see.
Man, who wouldn't want to be in NOLA?
Well, it's kind of a small market team, and I don't even know if they sell out all their games, really.
Well,
so.
No, this is a football.
It's a football town, but like New Orleans is kind of, especially with like not football, like you have to win in order for us to support you. They were selling out their games when they were winning, when they had like Chris Paul and a couple other people, like with the Hornets.
Okay.
So like people
Who's
would go to the
Chris
game.
Paul?
He was like a star guard that plays for Houston now. So, anyways, that's the sports news. Let's see, wrapping up the LGBT news. How about that? Public library. Oh, yeah, right up your alley. In Ames, Iowa, hosted a family-friendly entertainment offered by drag performers, kind of like here in Lafayette.
Right.
Only their drag performers were accepting cash tips from the children in attendance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busking in the library in drag.
In drag. Yeah, so almost like a strip show.
Okay, I heard the bells and I
Yeah,
realized
somebody in the office got bells.
It's
You got some bells to ring your bells on this show, right?
got the biggest bells of them all.
So, yeah, I don't know. Kids giving dollar tips to the drag queens. I guess that's what a drag show is. I mean, whatever. People have like conflicting views on the matter. I can understand both sides. It's just like, okay, it's a different part of culture that, it's like not that big of a deal. It's kind of a performance. It's a clown show, basically.
Clown.
I think many like drag queens would even admit that.
That it's a clown show?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Okay.
I mean, like lip syncing and running around dancing, and with the drastic makeup. I mean, like, what's the difference? That's basically what a clown does, right? I mean, not to necessarily say that they are clowns, but the show itself is similar to like,
A lip synced American Idol.
whatever it may be. Anyways, let's see. School district in Texas has announced plans to boost student participation at a gay pride parade by funding their transportation to the event, which is going to cost them $10,000. And they've got many failing school districts within their county.
Okay. Seems like the funds could be applied in a better way.
Yeah, you would think, but $10,000 to bus some kids down to a parade?
Is it in the same town?
I don't know. I mean, this was like the Austin school district, so.
Okay, then if you're gonna run all your buses through the whole school district to pick kids up and deliver
right.
them,
I didn't really realize that.
then that's gonna run into some money.
Some hours for the bus drivers, right? So yeah, I mean, and like whenever you got failing schools like that don't have books and stuff like that, like you kind of wonder, like, oh, well, is that?
Yeah, well, just buy Chromebooks because they got all that crap online, and then you don't need classroom books. You don't need anything except to keep Chromebooks going so that you can teach these pre-programmed modules in a specific order with minimal room for creativity. Yeah, it's edumacation.
Well, it's funny how like the amount of money that's actually been spent on education in the last 50 years has gone up, but our IQs have gone down. Or math and science scores.
Our scores, right.
Scores.
Even Bill Gates has admitted that all the money that he threw at education didn't achieve much. There was another multi-billionaire who donated hundreds of millions of dollars to help charter schools and underprivileged, to start charter schools in underserved areas.
Right.
And outcomes weren't statistically significantly better than public schools.
Excellent. And to wrap up the LGBT plus news.
Things that aren't attached to LBGT.
So, Mo, you'd say you support Pride Month, right?
Yes.
Well, the most recent challenge, like the Ice Bucket Challenge or whatever challenge,
Okay.
Heterosexual liberal men, which you'd pretty much describe yourself as, right? Somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah.
Are going gay for 30 days in support for Pride Month.
No.
No, too much?
No.
Well, I mean, like, what a way to show your masculinity
my brain's
and your
just,
confidence in your sexuality by being gay
I
for
got it, but
30
my brain's just not wired that way.
Well, yeah. So, hey, props to those guys that are
willing to commit.
You know, especially like that have the girlfriends that are like saying, "Hey, go be gay for a month."
Go be gay for. That's man.
Oh, I mean, like the kids are like into that kind of thing nowadays.
The kids are all right. That's what the Who said like 50 years ago.
The kids are all right. Which, speaking of education, got a couple education stories, and even one from your home estate.
Oh God.
I thought this is really cool. In 370 schools across England, children are now going to be taught how to meditate. Which, of course, like they've done in a couple schools here in America.
Right.
And techniques for muscle relaxation and breathing exercises for mindfulness. And the program is being conducted under a mental health study that the British government is running up until 2021. And I imagine they'll see some great results from it.
You know what? There's some kids, young adults, that could use
That quieting down in their mind.
and self-control and self-centering to stop
No doubt.
knee-jerk reactions.
And like they do that, I believe in I think it's China that like basically they teach you like your first grade of school is like you learn manners. You know, and you learn basically how to focus and take orders and
Unless you're
follow
Muslim,
directions.
then you go to a re-education camp.
Well, at least in Korea, right?
No,
Or
China.
that's in China. That's in
Right,
China.
that's the Uyghurs.
We covered that one a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about in Kentucky?
How about in Kentucky? Yeah, I forgot to wear my overalls.
High school in Kentucky offers a new course called Adulting 101
Whoop whoop!
to teach students life skills like how to change a tire and balance a checkbook and different tasks like that, grocery shopping.
I think that's the bomb.com. Yeah.
Adulting 101.
Because parents don't always either have the opportunity, the ability, whatever, to teach these young people those skills.
This is very true. This is very true. You know, I mean, because some kids end up growing up and like they just become rebels to the system. You know,
Right? It's like, my kids don't drive.
well, screw your driving. You know, give me an Uber.
They just, the way the state's law is set up, you got to take this driving course. The cheapest driving course I found was $400.
That's too bad.
You gotta attend this $400 driving course before you can go try for a license. That's sort of
I
like
did it. I did it.
It keeps people out of the ability. If you don't have the funds, then you
can't have any
drive.
fun.
You can't drive.
How about
WTF?
a student for a senior prank?
Jeez.
He's
Yeah,
implied.
for a senior prank. You're right.
He's punished for the implied threat on the school, basically, after putting the entire high school on Craigslist for sale. Saying like it had like all the rooms,
All the rooms, the floors, all
the
that.
bathrooms,
That's
and the new
awesome.
football field, and the tennis courts. So
that's
But he
awesome.
got in trouble for the implied threat on the school. You know.
What threat? That's the best joke I've heard in
Right.
months.
I
I
think
mean,
it
that's
might
the
have been
best
like-
school prank ever.
I think that was actually a pretty good one. So
Is he going to jail yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
not.
Okay, so it is about the second half of the show. We've got some entertainment news, some studies, and interesting stuff. We've got some This Day in History, and even a list of facts that you're dying to know, but you're too afraid to ask.
Yeah. Some of them you'd have never thought to ask. I swear to Bob, it's just.
How about I give you a 1 through 10 real quick?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Did you know that elephants have a prehensile penis, which means you can pick stuff up?
No.
Which I've seen a human before, like the little video or the picture, like where the dude like picks up the rock, and
Well, that's
is in
attached.
Africa.
No, it's attached to his testicles, and he.
No, I think he like stretched his wing to like pick up the rock and like wrapped around it and like scooped it up.
Okay.
I mean, I think he might have stretched it over a long time. I mean, probably can't even use that thing anymore.
That's just nuts.
So,
Nuts.
that is nuts. Did you know that beer and vagina have the same level of acidity?
No. Good thing I like beer.
So I wonder if vaginas will make you burp.
No, but you can make vaginas burp.
Earwigs. If you chop off their penis, they'll just grow a new one. Earwigs.
Earwigs. The thing that kills me is I want to know what was going on with the science.
They were just like snipping their little.
Right, just like, okay, you got this.
And like, have they done this to all species? Like, to where they see which ones grow back?
Nuts.
And what do they do with the remaining?
Oh, maybe they can grow a fresh earwig from its snipped off junk.
Well, I'm sure orangutans could probably make some use out of it, because whereas humans, we kind of have our own little devices, I guess, to
scratch certain itches.
Well, basically, yeah. Orangutans make dildos out of wood, so like they basically make tools to pleasure themselves.
You tool.
Yes, indeed. How about kangaroos?
How about kangaroos?
You don't want to hook up with a kangaroo.
No.
3 vaginas, 2 uteruses, and a pouch to stay pregnant, basically.
All the time.
Luckily, they don't get a government check.
Yeah. Well, once you kick them out the pouch, man,
All right.
Right. Once you're out the pouch, bro, you got to go. The fun stop.
What were they on Winnie the Pooh, Kanga and Roo?
Yeah, Kanga and Roo.
Yeah, there's a lot of Roos, probably.
Yeah.
Did you know humans and dolphins are the only species that will, if put in front of a mirror, admire their genitalia? Like, oh, I'm not that bad here.
At some point,
the mirror's kind of curved a little bit.
Your junk, right? Especially if it's a special mirror that makes it look.
Well, and I believe like the iPhones have those mirrors kind of nowadays, like within the phone, and you can apparently use your penis to unlock your iPhone if you set it up as a finger, and it'll like kind of scan it. And like so, like you were saying a little bit earlier, that you'd have to rethink of how you would get into your phone. Like
right.
You'd maybe have to wear the kilt and just like put the phone like.
Right,
like
just,
under my kilt.
Right, just slap that bad
okay,
boy
I can look at my
down,
phone
right?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little slimy on
Let's
there.
hope not. God, you got to polish the screen before you.
Ooh, got the gutter butter on it.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So iPhone coming up with the innovation. Number 8. Everybody has unique fingerprints, retinal patterns, and an anus. We've already covered that one. We've already been all through
We've been
that
through
topic.
the anus, right?
With our fingerprints and retinal patterns. Number 9. For most men, their left testicle hangs a little bit lower. Unless you are right-handed, then your left testicle will hang a little bit lower. Or those are for the right-handed. I'm sorry. If you're left-handed, then the right testicle will hang a little lower.
Okay.
Because I think it's tied with your brain.
Right.
It's like basically your brain down there.
Okay. Well,
Thinking with your
right. I can work with what it's saying. I'm just wondering.
It's the devil's brain.
Yeah.
Let's see. And number 10, to kind of wrap up our list until we get to the next segment of list. 15 million circumcisions a year. So that means they take a couple hours a piece. So it's like about 500 million going on right now, or 500,000 going on right now, or 500, I think it was 500 circumcisions going on right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Snip, snip.
Right. Well, let's hope they use those foreskins for like fixing the horribly burnt or something.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, sort of a patchwork quilt, but at least you get
Something
out of it.
So some entertainment news.
I'd like to be entertained by the news.
Well, first off, this one's not on my little list here. You heard they're coming out with the Avengers Endgame again, like with like 5 extra minutes and maybe like an end scene and honoring maybe.
I
It's basically, I think they're just trying to pass up Avatar.
I've heard that too. And I thought that they were going to like reinsert the Bruce Banner, Black Widow, whatever stuff that they cut out because it didn't flow with.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to insert, about 6 minutes worth of scenes they cut, which is all probably going to be on the DVD.
Yeah, DVD.
DVD! Or whatever
Yeah.
they do nowadays.
Yeah.
You remember the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, Jason Momoa wants to do a remake with Peter Dinklage and remake Twins.
That would probably be most amusing.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. I recall that movie being quite entertaining when I was younger. New Batman movie, which of course we heard about the new Batman, Robert Pattinson from Twilight.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. A lot of people have hated on the Batman until you see the movie. They said the same thing about Michael Keaton and Christian Bale and all that, right?
Okay, were they wrong about Michael Keaton?
Yeah, well, Michael Keaton was one of the best Batmans.
No. Were they wrong about Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer, he was all right. He wasn't as bad as Clooney.
Yeah. Were they wrong about Clooney? Clooney was supposed
Clooney did the movie as a favor. He didn't he was just basically standing because it was supposed to be Val Kilmer again. So, anyways, for the new Batman movie, the villains have been revealed.
Mr. Freeze.
Well, the main villains are going to be the Penguin and Catwoman.
Okay.
And they're going to be primary antagonists out of the group. However, it's also going to include the Riddler, Two-Face, Firefly, and the Mad Hatter.
No, Jesus, God Almighty! Is this going to be a 3-hour movie?
No, not that I know of.
To get them all those people.
Well, they're going to be like more minor villains.
Okay.
Meaning they probably won't go
cameos?
down.
I thought they were like frontline.
Well,
villains.
Batman will probably have a little romantic thing going on with the Catwoman.
Right? Because
And then Penguin's probably just going to be like a political kind of thing, like running for mayor or something.
or masterminding something.
Masterminding, like he's got his little clan or
Right.
whatever.
So wait, there's no Joker in this one, right?
No Joker.
Okay, good.
Which, of course, I imagine
Yeah,
they're saving
'cause-
that for part 2.
right, they
Depending on how the first one does.
Yeah.
Let's see. Facebook is suspending WWE superstars, that's wrestling,
Jesus God.
accounts because they think they're impersonating themselves, which basically they're just in their character.
Right. I mean, it's a character. If they
So is that impersonating yourself, or
No.
especially if you're like a business kind of page?
it's a fan page, right?
I guess it is their personal accounts, but it's their character in wrestling.
Right. That makes perfect sense. I mean, whether
They're misrepresenting themselves, or are they?
No, they're not.
Because the wrestling character is them, right?
Is them as far as the consumer is concerned.
I would say so.
Stone Cold. I mean, how can you not have a Stone Cold Steve Austin
What?
Facebook page?
And
I'm sorry, I know his mama didn't name him Stone Cold.
No, of course he didn't. I can't remember what his real name actually is. Steve something. Anyways, DJ Khaled is poised to hit the Billboard chart with a monster lawsuit alleging the organization unfairly disqualified more than 100,000 of his sales for Father of Assad, robbing him of the #1 spot. When?
Okay. Like that really
DJ
means.
Khaled!
Like that really means anything? Really?
Yeah, it doesn't anymore. Jeopardy! Jeopardy James lost nearly half of his winnings of $1.2 million in taxes.
Yeah.
However, he did make a couple $1,000 donation toward a cancer walk to help the same organization with Alex Trebek and whatnot.
Right.
How about, did you hear Justin Bieber challenging Tom Cruise to a UFC fight?
No. I'd pay to see that.
Well, Tom Cruise was like, "Yeah, right, kid." You know,
I'd pay to
basically.
see that. I mean,
Of course, but
well, or I'd have a friend pay to see
Bieber
it, and I'd
fever.
go watch it. And then we'd eat their barbecue.
some interesting studies. I believe we've talked about this before. Summer penis.
Summer penis?
How basically with the heat expanding, the penis.
Right.
We were just kind of wondering
Oh, right.
if this is true. Think of what penises of 2050 will be like after the climate crisis and global warming. Penises will just be, it'll be the pinocalypse. Pinopocalypse.
Well, that means that the average will increase nationally.
If it gets hotter, I guess.
Yeah.
It expands.
Right.
The blood.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I'm sure gravity, helps bring things down.
Sure. Recently, fossilized cannabis revealed that the plant is 27.8 million years old.
Oh, in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27.8. CBD liver damage. CBD is linked to liver damage.
Really?
With the CBD. Researchers, I know this is in a marijuana study, researchers discovered that mice given higher doses of CBD showed signs of liver damage within 24 hours. 75% of these animals in the subacute phase had either died or on the verge of death within a few days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Man, we need to do a little more science on that stuff.
so
I mean,
maybe don't go to the CBD place yet.
No, I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying we need
You
more
can drink the
science
sodas,
too.
right? Let's see. It's
Because I'm all for science.
Hey, we talk about both sides. We say go to the CBD store and then say, wait, you might want to research the CBD store first.
Right.
That's what we do here on Higher
And
Thought.
then who is it that's manufacturing the product that's being sold to you? Do they follow some industry standard
Oh, I'm sure
specification?
they have to.
Are they ISO 9002 or 4 or whatever the new number is?
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Scientists discover a mushroom that eats plastic. And they
Really?
believe it can clean our landfills.
Right.
Basically, it just eats it and surrounds it and then evaporates. So,
The thing is the plastic was made from oil, and if we just figure out a way to get the plastic back and re-chemistry it back into oil. We chemistried it from oil into plastic. There's got to be a way to reverse chemistry it.
are you covering your face on camera, Mo?
Yeah. I'm an embarrassment.
No, you're not. I'm talking into the little dangly.
Dang.
Dangler.
Yeah.
Companies are tossing out resumes wholesale, instead relying on neuroscience-based AI-powered technology to determine whether a candidate is a fit and how likely they are to succeed. So basically, they kind of do quizzes and critical thinking things and
Right.
games almost to see how you do in decision making.
Yeah, it would eliminate the truly daft from your interview pool.
Surely. How about the moon? The full moon is sick of
about
everybody blaming their problems on it.
Good.
The full moon is not your problem. Look at what you do on the full moon. That's why they have more police officers work on the full moon night. Right?
Because people.
Some guy modified his Roomba, which is the thing that does the vacuum, to swear whenever it bumps into stuff. When it hits something, it says, shit!
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Pretty clever. How about cutting back on Facebook and Snapchat will make you less depressed, a study says.
I can believe that.
This one also makes tons of sense as well. Touching boobs can reduce anxiety to men by 90%. Not your own, though.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem to...
It's not the same. In 45 years, we have killed 60% of Earth's wildlife. a damning report by the WWF. Not the World Wrestling Federation, but the World Wildlife Foundation.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, 60%.
We've killed 60% of the Earth's wildlife in
Right.
45 in the
I
last
mean,
45
in
years.
zoos, that is where some wildlife. Those are the only living examples of that species is in zoos.
In zoos.
At the zoo.
Let's see. Well, yeah, we can skip that one. When it comes to simple tasks like changing tires, unclogging toilets, or resetting a tripped circuit breaker, millennial dads are terrible compared to their own fathers, according to new research.
Uh-huh. Did their dads bother
Did their
to
dads
teach
actually take
them?
the time to teach them? Right.
Uh-huh.
Because parenting, I think, has gone in the last whatever as well.
Right.
So, why do dogs take so long to decide on the perfect pooping spot?
I don't know, and it drives me freaking
There's
crazy.
4 main reasons.
Okay. The first one better be a damn good reason.
First is sniffing out other dogs.
Okay.
Okay. The other dog's scents. Second is because of anxiety. You know, just like, okay, you know, like, is it good to go here?
But in your own backyard?
Are they rushing me? Or no, just like, even, well, in the backyard, they wait for the walk, you know, and they just like have to go. And when they just have to go, they have to go in the backyard.
Right.
They wait for the walk. Distractions.
Right. I can see where distractions is definitely an issue.
And weirdly but truly, the magnetic poles. And like they try to shift like east-west or something like that, you know, like on their poop. And like it's like all about lining with the magnetic poles.
Ah! I'd like, oh man.
I can
that's
send you
great.
the article.
That's great.
Let's see.
And when we have the polar shift, does that mean the dogs will spin? when they
Like
have to
there's
shift?
the poles will rotate and the
Yeah.
poo will. Okay, gravity. Let's see. MIT professor says more likely than not that we're living in a simulation, and it's like we're like in the
no.
Matrix.
No, because if I was in the Matrix, I'd have gamed that motherfucker by now. I'm sorry.
Mother freaker, but
yes.
I have a
Oh.
very interesting thing that like I blazed through. It was like 80 pages that like is an interview with Dr. Neruda or something like that. It was from 1998, and they've held on to the interview for like 20 years.
Right.
It's like based on like this knowledge from ancient Sumerian texts, and like apparently like this race of humans that like traveled from the future to come and like try to save mankind and like lead us in the right direction. And they're like, you know, giving information to the light bearers of the world to, you know, kind of awaken everybody, I guess. It's a very interesting read. You
Okay.
know? I mean, like you could take anything like a grain of salt, like reading the Bible, you know, almost, you know, or whatever. A religious document.
Pick your religious document.
Yeah, so very interesting read. I can maybe send that one to
Yeah,
you.
kick that one my way as well.
So let's finish off with a little bit of things you're dying to know but too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 11, female arousal can make their breasts grow up to 25%.
Okay.
I could dig it. This is interesting. Inside the cheek is identical with the flesh of a vagina. You sure do got a pretty mouth.
Oh God.
Well, inside the cheek is identical with the flesh of a vagina, apparently. 50% of 50-year-olds still engage in oral sex.
Okay.
Imagine that when having breakfast with your grandparents. Let's see. Doctors can tell if a woman has orgasmed in the last day by the way she walks. You know, especially if they're walking all bow-legged.
Oh God. Yeah.
Let's see. Number 15, Lyndon Johnson once was asked in a news conference about why they're in Vietnam, and he pulled out his penis and waved at a reporter and said, "That's why." And that's why the penis is also referred to as the Johnson.
As a Johnson.
I did not know that. Very interesting.
That was a learning moment for me. Today.
Speaking of penises, a whale's penis is actually called a dork.
Dork.
You dork.
You dork.
Yeah, so, and since
No,
we're
yeah.
underwater here, did you know a male octopus will rip his own penis off and give it to the female for copulation? Just like, here, go ahead and take that.
Oh,
Do what you gotta do with that. Wild boars actually have the largest amount of ejaculate of all land mammals. You know, that is unless like you've kind of been holding up for a while.
Okay. Oh God.
No,
Are
still
we
not.
talking?
But speaking of which, if you can really shoot, you got a good shot there for the furthest ejaculation of all time. What'd you guess?
18 inches.
18 feet
18 feet.
and 9 inches.
And 9
Like,
From
that's
a
a rocket, man.
From a human being?
Yeah, it's a freaking rocket.
That's insane.
It's a jizz rocket.
That's insane.
Let's see. Mozart had a song called Leck mich im Arsch, which translates into "lick me in the arse."
Okay.
Go ahead, Mozart.
Go ahead.
Duck penises are shaped like corkscrews, and vaginas twist the other direction. One male. Okay, we don't need to go that. Orchids are the Greek word for testicle. How about that one?
Orchids?
Yeah.
Wow.
BJs can bruise the back of your throat, and dentists and doctors can see. So, ladies and gentlemen,